So homelessness and mental health issues often come together. It doesn't make it easier. It's not easy to live outside. It's not easy to live in a place where you're not sure where you're going to go to the bathroom or when your next meal is going to come.
I've been a street mom 25 years out here. Woman ass, chicken ass, and making them call their mama.
I think a lot big misconceptions often, they're often sometimes perceived as, they're like that because, they choose to be. So I grew up in a very, poor community, and I think a lot of the struggles that people had to undergo. And I was one that received the welfare benefits as a child and a lot of government aid, and I wanted to give back to my community.
When I was 17, I had my daughter. My best friend was murdered while his girlfriend was pregnant. And so that really opened up my eyes and said, I don't want my daughter to grow up in an environment where she has to be, alone in society. We discovered a whole bunch of encampments, and we went out there and try to provide basic needs, food, clothes, sleeping bags. And I was unsheltered, and I do have family members that are currently unsheltered, so I just do my best to kind of sprinkle a little bit of support everywhere that I can offer it. I know that when the country said, "Hey, everybody, shelter in place," I mean, I had a shelter. I could go home and shower, eat, use the bathroom, wash my hands as many times as I want. But a lot of these folks couldn't.
We're limited with shelters. We're limited where, spaces where people, can stay overnight. So I think that's a big struggle, that a big challenge that we're having right now.
The primary danger of being outside is victimization. There are people who have to agree to things that they might not want to, possibly in order for an exchange of food or of a warm place to sleep or of drugs or substances. I've heard people say, a beer or a 40-ounce can of malt liquor is a sandwich if you're hungry and a coat if you're cold.
Something like schizophrenia doesn't develop until you're 24, 30 years old. You could have gone to college, got a college degree, have no symptoms at the time. All of a sudden, you're starting to hear voices. You're starting to see things other people aren't seeing. A lot of, you're going through these changes. And oftentimes, you're not able to get a job anymore because, you're not okay. You're not in good shape. And that one thing leads to another, and, people end up homeless,
There are people who have mental health issues who don't take medication and aren't able to they're not organized enough mentally to kind of figure out the steps to take to live inside. People who get into accidents or who have some kind of injury that aren't able to work and then are taking medication to take care of the pain. And then the doctor says, okay, it's time to go off the pain medication. And then there's something on the streets that they can get that does the same thing. And then it can create an environment of making things worse.
I was living with my sister, and I lived with her for 2 years in a mansion in Oakley. Mr. Squire's resume is pretty solid. He goes, "Welcome aboard." There you go. Because 25 years of different companies, but know my stuff.
Yeah.
But I loved it. Now I can't do it no more because I got to have surgery because of doing that. We're going to have this knee replaced. And the doctor says I probably won't be able to do it no more. And I don't think so either.
A lot of people have don't bring it near me, not in my backyard kind of thing.
I'm still walking down the street when I saw the shadow of a man creep out of sight. And then he swept up from behind, he put a gun up to my head, he made it clear he wasn't looking for a fight. He said, "Give me all you got, I want your money, not your life. If you try to make a move, I won't think twice." I told him, "You can have my cash, but first you know I gotta ask, what made you wanna live this kind of life?" He said, "There ain't no rest for the wicked, money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed."
I think remembering that it's us, not them, right? That I is illness and we is wellness.
I wanted to solve the problems. I wanted to be there and be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So I started to get involved in volunteering and helping out the youth and helping out in any way that I could, in a way to give back to my community.
So I learned an amazing amount about resilience and the human spirit, and about trust, and about the importance of believing in someone.
I think, the community as a whole, I think we got to do better.
You're just working with people whose mental health issues are worse than your own.
This is possible. You know what I mean? This is just a little bump in the road. Our hope is to still get there.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew